All right, you guys. So we are back on the Rift with the pick ban phase starting up. However, unfortunately, we're going to see some of the names being cut off on the pick ban phase UI. However, we all know that it's needlessly large rods and the big vibrating chungus. All right. So speaking of which, we're going to see needlessly large rods take away the Evelyn first, with big vibrating chungus taking away the Diana. Is there any other bans you might be looking for here, Aiden?
Yeah, maybe banning just the absolute length of both of these names, just not being able to fit in, in the UI. But as you pointed out, yeah, we know what these names are. It's all good. Yeah, no, Diana and Silas, just two huge champions. Uh, we saw what they could do in their last two matches. With Diana in the very last match having some absolutely incredible ults, and then Silas in the match previous to that one, in the first ever match, just doing so much damage, able to get himself so far ahead. And it seems like we're banning for the last game with the Jin ban and the Diana ban and the Silas and Darius. It
It
seems like
seems
we're
like it, eh?
I think what happened was that both teams were like, hmm, this is ooh, yeah, no, he's doing some, yeah, and he's also, oh yeah, and he does a lot of, oh, okay, let's just all ban them. Um, I just think both teams have decided, let's just not play with the champions that we last saw. And they're just gonna absolutely stick with that because the Tristana and Leona are two new champions into this game here. I think that Tristana pick was actually a pick against Magunga Bunga. I think they decided to go for that pick because they want to try to limit his pool. Magunga Bunga, we've seen him picking up a lot of the Tristana games. So by taking that Tristana away, that's a good ADC to pick up, and it also kind of limits what Magunga Bunga can play. And to counter that, he goes with another one of his little picks there into the Sivir. So it seems like those ADCs are going to be hugely contested over these next couple of games. If you can limit, uh, if you can take away that Tristana, maybe try to take away that Sivir. We'll have to see what Magunga Bunga can fall back to. Um, but the Morgana, as we talked about, is a huge pickup. If you're not going to ban that Morgana, you got to be prepared to play against, and she just does so well. She's so healthy with a lot of her clears. She can clear so quickly. So that's a very good pickup over on the side of needlessly large rod. Um and yeah, no, Talon. Okay, we've seen, okay. This is a big Talon main right here. He's able to get his champion. So right now things are kind of looking to be a bit towards needlessly large rod's playstyle right now. They're getting a lot of the champions they want. They're denying a lot of the champions that they don't want the BVC to play against, to play against them. So it seems like we're having a very good comp. However, that Irelia can be very scary, very big pickup late game. With all the healing that she can do, all of her dashes, she can get very worrisome for needlessly large rods.
Absolutely. I like this Renekton ban as well. Renekton is a very, very strong champion, both in the top lane and mid lane, but I assume there's obviously a top lane ban away as we already see the talent, and it can only be assumed that talent's going to be going in the mid lane here. The Lee Sin ban as well is going to be a good pickup as well. However, I do not know if Two Dude or Safney play too much of Lee Sin, so I'm not quite sure if that's a targeted ban or if it's just a ban because Lee Sin's a strong pick right now. But Cho'Gath, I know that Safney does play a little bit of the Cho'Gath. However, I do have a sneaking suspicion that the Safney might be pulling out one of three picks. All right, so I'm looking at the Nasus, I'm looking at the Singed, and I'm looking at the Kale. And as I'm talking about that, we see the Nasus being hovered right now. And those are the three main champions that I usually would like to see Safdini on. It's who I know that he is most comfortable with after doing some research on his past champions. And again, it is going to be the Nasus picked up. And this late game for Big Vibrating Chungus is going to be looking real strong. They're going to be looking to hopefully nullify the scaling of the Tristana. And we're going to like to see the Nasus get some farm up top lane, but we're also going to like to see needlessly large rods pick up a champion to help try to nullify that and take away that farming capability of the Nasus, so that way he doesn't get to be that big menacing late game champion. And as we see that,
But
we see the Volibear taken away.
You know what? It seems like needlessly large rods have actually done their research here. Knowing to pick up that Tristana is actually very well done there. So it seems like both teams. It seems like they've really done their research uh, on Big Vibrating Chungus. Um, so maybe they're actually comfortable going into these Nasus picks. They probably understood that Saftany was actually probably going to play this Nasus. Uh, so it'll be interesting to see how they play against him. Obviously, Volibear is huge against the Nasus, so I think they're actually comfortable going into this. And we'll have to see. This is a very tanky team on needlessly large rods. They have so much tank between Nautilus and Volibear, able to shut down turrets. This might be a very hard game. However, on the flip side, having that Leona being able to lock down champions for what seems like 20 seconds, if you do try to go for a dive, is absolutely key in shutting down these champions, especially against a champion like Volibear, who can just go for a dive and shut down your turret. Having a Leona there to just stop all of that dive with all the amount of stuns that she have is perfect. And like you talked about, this could be a really good late game here. Both teams having just fantastic champions. If Saftany can get farmed up here, and if Ravedorm can get to late game, both of these champions can do a lot of damage. The Talon, however, that is so impactful early game. Being able to roam down to the bot lane, being able to roam down to the top lane, vaulting over the walls. He's so mobile and he's to help out his lanes and to try to push advantages. And that Morgana, as we talked about before in the other games, that's super important. She's so good right now. So the fact that they were actually able to pick this up might might be a little worrisome for a team vibrating Chungus or big.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You see large rods. We know what you're talking about. Don't you worry. And what I'm looking for on Peels on this talent is to just roam bottom lane as early as he can and start making Magunga Bunga's life on the Sivert an absolute just slaughterfest. Something that he is not going to want to enjoy at all. Take away his ability to get strong. We know that Lethality Sivir can do some major damage if she gets items. But with the Nautilus here, we have the Tristana. It is going to be a big kill potential land for both sides here, though the Sivir spell shield is going to be huge for blocking that Nautilus hook. So as long as Magunga Bunga can time those spell shields well, then the Nautilus pick won't be quite as strong, though I do believe it does still take you to the champion, even if it does get spell shielded.
it
So
does.
you won't get stunned, but he will be there and he'll be able to get the auto attack off, though it will be able to nullify some of the major stun that's happening. And on the flip side, we're going to see the Leona be able to lock down that Nautilus if he does decide to chase in, or if the Tristana goes for the rocket jump in, Leona can lock her down. So this bottom lane is going to be a real fun one to watch. It's going to be a lot of fireworks going on, I think, especially with the Talon being around, the Nidalee, the Aurelia having the capability to move as she does as well with her Q if she can stack it up off minions. The
The
Morgana
the
being
problem
around.
the problem with that spell shield, however, is it's only going to take away so much. You look at Nautilus and you see it, you start to think, you go, okay, well, what am I going to block? Okay, am I going to block his Q? That makes the most sense. Well, then he has his ultimate up, so I can't really block that. And then he can also auto attack you for another bit of CC. But like you were saying, so much CC coming in from the Leona too. I think you're absolutely right. I think we're going to see a huge bloodbath in the bot lane. So definitely keep your eyes there with Talon being able to roam down and just the absurd amount of CC both teams have here. This is going to be a very interesting game coming in from the bot lane. Looking at top side, it'll probably be a bit less interesting. Um, I don't know how fun it is to watch Nasus farm up. It's fun for the Nasus player. It's always fun when you get those +3, +6. That's fun. Uh, is it fun to watch? Late game for sure. Once he's like got 1,000 stacks, that's always fun. Uh, but Coltimus here, he's gonna look to try to force those early fights. Being so strong, Volibear being so strong, he wants to try to stop Saftany from getting a lot of these stacks off. And Saftany on the flip side isn't maybe might miss a couple stacks due to that fact. So we might not see a very a big game out of the top side unless Coltimus can try to make these plays happen. They they can dive here. If they can dive with the Morgana coming on ganks, this is a lot of pressure. You shut off that turret, you can get a lot of damage too very quickly with that Morgana and that Volibear in the top side, especially if you add a Talon to that mix. So it's a bit worrisome for Safthony in this early game on the Nasus, but I think we're going to see a lot of the kill pressure coming in from bot lane with both of these supports just being so aggressive and having so many tank stats and so much CC. I think we're going to see a lot of our game kind of move towards that bot side, move onto that dragon, move with the bot side. I think that's the key in this game.
And moving forward from that, what do you think is going to happen with the Scuttle Crabs in this game? I think that the Morgana should have the greater clear speed than the Nidalee, especially early. So who do you think should be able to take away this Scuttle Crab in the early game here?
Yeah, I think MK currently on the Morgana has the advantage. The Morgana Q, the bind, is very good for destroying that Scuttle Crab shield. We recently saw in the last couple patches, Smite is actually, it does take away the shield and it also does damage to the Scuttle Crab. But you know what? In those early Scuttle Crab fights, it feels like a waste to use that, right? It's great for late game if you're gonna just trying to clear the Scuttle Crab, but early game, if you're really if you're really trying to contest these Scuttle Crabs, you know, it it's not very good if you just smite it, there goes your smite. You can't go for that last smite attempt. So I think that MK actually has the advantage in these Scuttle Crabs. Very fast clearing, very healthy clearing. Nidalee isn't, I'm not saying Nidalee's slow by any means, but just currently right now that Morgana is super fantastic to clear out the jungle and does so much damage onto these Scuttle Crabs. So I think MKP absolutely has the advantage as long as Peels and Cultimus can kind of recognize that Scuttle Crab is the current play and maybe try to help and aid MKP in taking these Scuttle Crabs. Because if Big Vibrating Chungus notices that, hey, MKP is on the Scuttle Crab, you know, that that Irelia can be very worrisome early game.
Very, very good take. So early here, do you think we're going to have any chance of an invade?
You know what? This is going to be pretty standard. Both teams, we see Team Nidalee Large Raw just kind of doing a bit of a modified 5-point, getting a bit of vision into the enemy jungle here, going to catch out Safthony. It's going to be standard Team Big Vibrating Chungus going to drop that ward. So just everyone has vision. No one really the first move here. Nerves can be high. I don't think we're really going to see any big invades here. We don't really have too much invade potential on either team, just because sure you've got the Nautilus, you've got the Morgana, but the other team has Leona. So if you do go in, you're gonna get stunned. So it's a bit of a risk trying to invade on either of these teams.
Absolutely could not agree more. Talking about the CC, the amount of CC on both teams is good. It could be better if we had some slightly different picks, but I'm thinking that the CC here is actually going to be favoring these large rods. Nautilus himself does a lot, but Nautilus versus Leona I think is relatively even in terms of CC. However, with the Tristana Buster Shot, with Morg Q, Morg ult, Coltimus being able to shut down turrets with his stun, his shield with the lightning that comes down from the sky, I think that the CC front is going to likely go over to these large rods. However, again, as I was talking about earlier, I think if we can see it out to mid to late game, I think we're going to really start to see Big Vibrating Chungus come alive. And Safthony looking like he might be lucky to get there. However, he is only at 2 CS right now, but you know, this is usually the case. If you're gonna get cocky, you're gonna get ahead of the Nasus early, and you're gonna let him farm later by leaving lane, try to go help out the rest of your team. That's where your issues are gonna start to arise, because Nasus is gonna be able to free farm and get back up. Coltimus is doing a really good job so far of keeping that not happening. And Coltimus is going to take a stroll into the top side jungle of Team Big Vibrating Chungus. Drop a ward down on the red. See that it's not there. Huge battle going down in the mid lane. Rave Dorn doing fantastic on the Aurelia. What a play. Big first blood going over to Team Big Vibrating Chungus. That is really good for them. Safthany on the Nasus was able to pick up some of those minions topside, so he's not too far behind in farm. He's looking to stack up pretty well. Nidalee doing really well in farm as well. Gonna go pick up that bottom side Scuttle Crab, and it's looking like she might be moving towards a gank bottom side if she doesn't have vision. But Nautilus and Tristana are playing pretty safe. We got Wise Gopher and Mr. Nukem doing really well there.
This will absolutely be a gank bot side. The
However,
creep
it is going in. You're going to force out the flash. Double
forward.
flash.
Two dude might
Okay,
be able
and
to get
heal.
Mr. Nukem. Good body blocking by Wise Gopher, almost picking him up.
But the Dark Harvest stack picked up from a Gunga Bunga here on the Sivir.
So that's Mr. Nukem. That's an all chat, not even close.
That is absolutely a not even close, baby. Gotta get the chat going there.
Absolutely say that right there. And you know what? Coltimus just playing really smart here on the top side on the Volibear. You don't want Safthany to get any stacks. If in an ideal world for Volibear right now, you just say absolutely no farm. That's not going to be the case because that's impossible. So Coltimus is doing actually a fantastic job right here. And Two Dude is in a bit of danger right now.
Needs to large Rod's looking to invade here. But I think that Big Vibrating Chungus is going to be able to defend against this pretty well. However, we do see the top laner roaming down for Needless to Large Rods, and I don't think the Aurelia noticed that because Ravedorn just goes in and donates his life over to the pockets of the enemy team.
Well read by Coltimus, understanding coming down. Because of that, they were able to pick up another kill. And MKP is playing with fire a bit here, but Two Dude actually might be the one getting caught out here. Peel's able to jump over every single wall.
Oh my god, that Mord binding.
A Mord binding for the ages, an absolute heat-seeking missile of a Mord binding able to pick up Two Dude. And that's going to be 2 kills to 1. Just fantastic reads all along the side of Needlessly Large Rod here.
That Morgana bind is crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. It does give Safthany a bit of time to, some breathing room and lets him breathe here. But now that Dragon's up, what do you think we're going to see around? I'm thinking a fight, but I'm not exactly sure right.
I'm thinking there could be a fight. I'm looking to hopefully see Big Vibrating Chungus get some vision down. Or same as Needless to Large Rods. I'm liking the fact that right now Needless to Large Rods does have that pink ward in the bush that has gone unseen. But we do have the jungler for BVC staying on the bottom side here. Gonna be looking to help out that bottom lane and maybe work towards the dragon here. Two Dude looking to maybe force this, but he's gonna be spotted out by that pink ward. Just gonna clear that out and probably walk away, go back, maybe go help out mid lane. Ravedorn's gonna be doing really well against this Talon here. Gonna be stacked up, doing some major damage. Peels is gonna have to just get out of here, get out of the way. Safthany getting some stacks top lane.
Peels just being so mobile can just jump over a wall and say, "See you later, sayonara." And that's just might be the whole case for this game. Even if Ravedorn can actually get onto Peels, Peels can just jump over every other wall to get out here.
Yeah.
And as both junglers make their way to the bot side, we might see a fight for this. Big Vibrating Chungus does have some vision on the dragon, so it's not like either team is actually going to be able to sneak this dragon away from one another. And yeah, just games kind of going as you'd expect, with top lane just trying to deny that Nasus as much farm as you can. You want to slow down his late game as much as you can, so Coltimus doing a fantastic job. We might see a dive here.
Great stun by Ravedorn on the Aurelia. However, it's looking like
mid lane, not going to be enough damage.
Having some issues, but the Morgana's going to be roaming up. MKP might be able to pick up the Aurelia here.
Top lane. We might see something with Two Dude top lane. Safthany just not super far ahead, but Ravedorn going in for the kill. He might be able to get one onto Peels. Is just not enough to get it. That's a bit tilting there. Just a kill is so close within your grasp, and it just slips out. Unfortunate onto the side of Team Vibrating Chungus. Gonna lock up Magunga Bunga. Spell Shield coming in a bit late right there. They're gonna turn around though, however, and get a bit of damage. Good understanding onto that side. Coltimus over on the top side. Gonna slow down and Safthany. They're looking for a fight here. Two Dude is still close by. Could he make something happen? We will have to find out. Coltimus just gonna peel off, and that ward is actually going to spot Two Dude. So Dragon is still up. Rift Herald is up. Both teams a bit unsure about taking these objectives. is there anyone that you'd prefer right now? Do you think maybe with the pings coming across, the teams are looking towards that dragon? What's your take currently?
I'm thinking that New Zealand Large Rods had an opportunity to get that dragon after the Aurelia went down there. They looked like they had some chance to do it because the Nidalee was topside. They spotted him out on that ward. Instead, they opted to just go ahead and pick up the jungle camps and continue to farm bottom lane. Um, there, the advantage here in the bottom lane is pretty much nullified. It's pretty even going on right now. I figured bottom lane was going to be an absolute bloodbath. So far, it seemed to have been one of the most chill lanes in the entire game, alongside top lane. But mid lane's been the fighting, looking like they're going to be setting up for the dragon finally, and we're going to pan up to Coltimus here, looking to push off Safthany on the Nasus. Team NLR is just going to pick up that bottom side scuttle. There's going to be 4 there. It should be a 4v4 battle, but both top laners do have TP if they decide to join. So we're just going to likely see... Oh, MKP apparently going for that gank mid again. Ravethorn looking to be in a bad position. Oh, good flash though. Great flash. Great play.
Oh my god, Ravethorn.
Great play.
Turned around the 1v2. Just phenomenal. Able to understand, oh crap, I'm in a situation, and is actually able to get a kill. Very well done onto that side. I don't know if Big Vibrating Chungus is actually going to look towards the dragon. You know, MKP is still up here. But Coltimus has done a really good job here. Oh, binding just missing.
So the one earlier hit, that one somehow misses. That is confusing, but that's going to look like a free dragon to me for Team NLR. Even with the pink, or even with the ward down, sorry, it's just not going to matter. They are all back at base. 4 coming out of base now. We got Nasus going top lane. It's looking like a first dragon going over to the side of NLR. We're going to see the Mountain Dragon next, which is going to be really, really big for whoever gets it next, because that Leona and Nasus are going to benefit really, really well from it. The Volibear, the Nautilus are going to benefit really well. So whatever team gets this is going to get huge value. We're seeing Coltimus fighting Safthany, but Safthany Qs are doing major damage here on the Nasus.
Oh my word.
Major damage already. I'd be curious to see how many stacks Safthany's at right now, because he is looking dangerous already. If we go ahead and check, he's already at 180 stacks at 10 minutes in, which is really, really strong. Ravethorn, Ignite's going to burn him out. Absolutely fantastic here from Ravethorn. Going to be taking out that Talon. All right, we're going to see Safthany continue to farm up on this Nasus, and he is already doing some major, major damage. So I'm thinking we're not even going to have to wait till late game for this Nasus to become alive. I'm thinking once it hits 15, 20 minutes, he's going to really start to become a huge, huge threat right here. They're letting him farm. They don't have a whole lot of jungle pressure topside right now. So we're just going to see Safthany farm up, like I was saying, and then Ravethorn is going to be here on the mid lane getting a couple plates. MKP is going to be looking for possibly the Rift Herald here. Or just looking for a topside gank, as I was talking about not having gank pressure.
That's a TP coming in on
face check.
MKP gonna lock up Safthany. I think 2Dude might be a bit too late. Flash coming in over the wall. Is the Q gonna connect? Doesn't even matter. That's Saf going down. Q binding, the heat-seeking bindings that we talked about connects on the 2Dude. I think they just peel off here. 2Dude a bit too fast. They could definitely look for the Rift Herald right here. And a connection. That's gonna be a late binding coming in. The rocket jump coming in, just not gonna be able to connect. Fantastic flash forward by Magunga Bunga. Able to peel off with that flash.
Oh my god, that's spear damage. What a flash from 2Dude.
Insane
flash. My god.
Jumps over.
The great play. Huge lockup from the Leona as well. But the stopwatch is going to buy some time. Not enough. She's going to die. 2Dude getting hit by that Volibear E. But the TP in from Safthany is going to come in. Peels might be going down here as well. Oh my god, now my Peels is going to be doing so much damage. But Safthany's Qs already on the Nasus are doing major, major damage. His stacks are really starting to add up. He does have his ultimate available. So Safthany is really strong. He has Ravethorn coming over here on the Aurelia. Peels is just going to peel away. He's going to live up to his name and just go ahead and go back to possibly farming. We do see down to 3 plates in the mid lane here for the side of Team NLR. So the Aurelia has gotten a lot of damage on that turret. She's gotten a lot of gold in her pocket now, even in kills and deaths with the Talon. But some farm up and some plates up. Looking like the Aurelia is going to start to become really, really strong. So even though the kill difference is in favor of Needlessly Large Rods right now, Big Vibrating Chungus is still doing really, really well. But one thing I would like to see is Magunga Bunga working on the timing of his spell shields. So he is doing relatively well everywhere else, except a couple of these spell shields have been a little bit late. So if he can clean those up, I think he's going to do fantastic. He's been playing really well so far. His farming has been solid. His ability to not die and avoid this major kill pressure from this bottom lane has been fantastic. So if he can clean up those spell shields, he's going to be doing even better, and the kills are going to start coming his way.
Oh no, Peels gets hit with a perfect
Great play. Great play.
Nidalee Q there. That's him going down. And yeah, a lot
The
of the side
heat-seeking
of
Qs.
heat-seeking Qs,
The
absolutely.
heat-seeking binding.
And this is going to be another fight bot lane. Magunga Bunga actually going to get caught out this time. The spell shield not going to save him now. Your Eternity might be able to go down. That's going to be a Nautilus ult coming in. And another Tristana ult. But the E is able to pull him back to his turret. Very well done by your Eternity there. With the
Ravedorn's likely going to be going down here. Misses the ultimate. Does get the kill, but he's going to trade his life over. Southton, also going to get the +6 off of the Volibear. That is not at all what I was expecting early game, but Southton, you're doing fantastic on this Nasus pick, showing why this is one of his #1 main picks, and why, again, I was talking about it in Champ Select earlier. Nasus is one of the 3 champions I was expecting out of him because he is a fantastic Nasus player.
And you know what? You kind of have to worry. Big Vibrating Chungus, they have a lot of late game scaling champions. That Nasus, Southton on that Nasus, that's a late game scaling champion. Once he can get that Sivir to like 150, 200 CS, that's going to be a lot of damage coming out. That lethality Sivir does a huge amount of damage. And then that Aurelia, another late game scaling champion, able to do so much damage, heal so much as well, and have so much mobility. That this is going to be really worrisome. They're getting a lot of gold off of these Rift Heralds. They don't have the first dragon, but if they can towards the next couple of dragons, this could be really worrisome. So as Team Needless Rods, what I'd want to do right now is not get caught out like that.
And Peels is going to peel away back to the base.
Is not get caught out. Try to look for some of these early objectives, because if you get late game without getting these objectives, it's game over. Because if you're going against a late game scaling champion and you're not getting the objectives in the early game, you don't really have anything to get. I liked how they started their early game so far, but they got to keep pressing. They got to keep pushing, and they should be able to get this dragon unless that's a perfect Q. Just not gonna be a perfect Q. Good smite. So you know what? Team needs a large rod. Might be.
Oh, great spell shield there by the Magunga Bunga.
Bunga might actually be getting caught, because that's another rocket jump. The heat-seeking bind.
The heat-seeking Q. The explosive charge getting the reset on the rocket jump. Huge chain from the Morgana. Huge chain by MKP. Big knock-up. Aurelia, Ravedorn, flashing, getting the Q, getting the kill. If you can get some damage here. Overall, that was not too bad. Considering it was looking all doom and gloom for the side of Team Big Vibrating Chungus, that actually ended up pretty well, going 3 for 2. They did lose the dragon, however, it could have been a lot worse. The reset from the explosive charge on the Tristana actually is what ended up getting Magunga Bunga killed, because that rocket jump got reset. However, that's not going to be the end of the world. Coltimus is going to be almost going down. Southton, you're doing major damage already, man. This is going to be a really, really scary Nasus soon. Very, very, very scary.
You know what? And you gotta start to call out people into the top lanes. You have to stop letting this Nasus farm. He's getting a bit too much farm. He's getting a bit too much damage onto Coltimus right now. You gotta try to slow him down and stop this farming. This can get worrisome. Even if you're picking up all the different dragons and all the objectives, you still have to stop the Nasus at some point. You can't let him keep farming up, and they might be trying to do that right now. MKP coming into it for a gank, and Coltimus looking as well, coming back.
3
to the
people
lane.
coming
Even
up.
coming up.
Great flash. Great flash from Southton here. And if we're looking at this right now, I don't think you realize that there's 3 people here. However, he does have Ravedorn on the Aurelia coming up. The heating Q does hit that time. Southton is going to get some major damage down. But Ravedorn is going to be able to pick up Mr. Nukenham here on the Nautilus. So that's going to be a 1-for-1. Great shutdown on the Nasus here. However, this Aurelia is getting really scary. 2 dudes going to be flashing in. Wise Gopher's going to be going down maybe, forcing the flash out of here. However, one thing I want to point out right now is the fact that I checked Southern's stacks on the Nasus here a second ago before he went down. He is at 340 plus stacks already at 17 minutes. He is getting incredibly strong. Ravedorn coming on the Aurelia, going to be taking out the Morgana. That spell shield is not going to save you, buddy. Sorry to say it. Ravedorn is going to take your life. This Rift Herald's dropped. This Rift Herald might be able to do some damage here. If they can clear these minions, they might be able to get another charge off. But it's looking like Coltimus might be able to walk up and just take this out. Okay, never mind. Coltimus just oversteps. But
Oh, huge
the Volibear
damage.
ultimate damage is insane. But Ravedorn is going to be able to take him out. Mr. Nukem is going to go down as well on the Nautilus. Wise Gopher is going to be going down likely on the Tristan here, but the Buster Shot is going to be able to save him. Major turn of events here for Team Big Vibrating Chungus, and they're doing absolutely fantastic now. That was a major turn of events. They're going to get this inhib. They're going to be able to peel off. Dragon's going to be up in 2 minutes, so they should be setting up for this very soon. What a game so far.
And it's been so close from both teams. You know what? Needlessly large rods have been playing phenomenally so far. They've been getting the objectives. They just got caught out there a bit, trying to go for that top lane dive onto Safsny, which is a good pickup onto the Nasus. However, it does leave their mid lane exposed. So Big Vibrating Chungus recognizes that, and they push right down mid lane there. Very well done by both teams so far. Very close game. The gold lead just so slightly in favor of Big Vibrating Chungus, but with the Dragons on the team of needlessly large rods, this is honestly anyone's game. And what do you think about this as we start to climb into this mid game here? How do you think this is going to go with these team fights that are sure to happen as Dragons are about to come up in a minute? Who do you think does it? Who do you think's the big key players? What abilities do you think is going to happen? As I say that, heal coming through, so they won't have that for these fights. Colton is coming in, knocking up, getting a Ravedorn, stunned up there. All hell is going to break loose. That's a Talon all going down. Ravedorn, 1, 2, 3 shots.
Ravedorn's going to pop.
But that's going to be
major team fight going down. Colton is going to go down. It's going to be a huge team fight. Peels is going to go low, but the big Morgana ultimate. But Safdyn come down with the massive Q damage is going to be unreal. Safdyn is going to be able to take them out. But Wise Gopher with the resets is going to be doing some major damage here. There's so much going on right now. I don't even know what to say. That was an absolutely incredible fight right now. 3 for 3. I think that's perfectly fine. Maganga Bunga is going to be coming here to defend. He's likely going to be farming up here. Get these minions out of the way. He is down 2 levels right now to Wise Gopher after that play, because Wise Gopher did get the couple kills there. But Maganga Bunga is still pretty farmed up, so he is doing pretty well. Safdyn is up near 400 plus stacks now at 20 minutes, which is really good for him. He's picked up his Frozen Heart. So he's looking to become a real dangerous threat here. He's got his Merc Treads. We have Nidalee with the Merc Treads. We also have Aurelia with the Merc Treads and Leona with the Merc Treads. It seems like they're all very scared of that Morgana, and for very good reason. That CC is incredibly strong. And on top of that, the heat-seeking Qs are becoming a real issue for BVC right now.
Going back to what I was talking about before all of that team fighting, what do you think we have to watch for in these team fights that are gonna happen? Any
right now,
big abilities?
I think the thing is right now we're gonna look to see Safdyn try to frontline. And hopefully get Maganga Bunga to get some Qs off in the back line. Oh my god, that absolute, like I said, the front line. Safdyn is so strong right now. He's able to basically just delete any champion from the game. So you see him just going on to the Wise Gopher, completely taking him out of the play, and just leaves his team to fight 4v4. And that 4v4 right now with that Aurelia, with that Leona, is absolutely incredible. So they should be able to get this inhib right here, and I'm looking for an inhib right here and peeling off into a Baron fight.
This could be game. No, game.
Oh yeah, the death timers are long enough. I think they actually might be able to. With the amount of stacks that Nasus has right now, he is doing insane damage. Yeah, they should be able to go for the end. He's at 444 stacks right now. Leona's tanky enough to tank up these turrets. Safdyn does major damage with the Demolish. And if not end, then it's very close. We're looking for a very desperate team fight right now.
Down, but that's going to be heat-seeking Q, as we talked about. That's going to lock up Ravedorn. They're going to be able to get one, and they're going to chase onto 2, dude. But they're just not going to be fast enough. That Nidalee being just so fast in that transform and all those leaps. They could look for an objective right now. They do have, it is a 5v4. We'll have to see what Team Needlessly Large Rods does to try to stall out this game. All their inhib is down, and both of their Nexus traits are down, so they might be looking towards trying to get an objective. This Baron being right in their sights to try to stop this game. Coltimus on the backside is going to try to lock up 2, dude, to stop him from getting in the pit.
Safdyn, you're going to delete Peels out of the game. Safdyn also going to delete Coltimus. They're going to be able to blast plant into this. Safdyn is going to be able to take this entire team out. 1Q is going to take out Wise Gopher likely. Wise Gopher is going to be able to jump out. MKP going to get a crunch. But flash onto the Wise Gopher. 2 dudes going to be able to take him out. What a massive play from the 3 members that were alive. They are going to be able to hopefully pick up this Baron. Oh, never mind. They're going to pull off. 2 dudes a little bit too low. I was hoping that Safdyn might have been able to, do some damage. He has some lifesteal, so he would have been fine. That is perfectly fine. 2 for 5. That is an absolute worth trade in the hands of BVC.
Death
So
timers are long. Death
we're
timers
looking
are
for a
long here to
possible end
persist this
again.
Talon.
Nexus is wide open. Safton TPing in. And with that Q damage, she might be able to take this out. But the Volibear ultimate is going to be huge from Coltimus. Peels is going to get absolutely just blown up. And it's looking like this is going to be game 1 going over to the side of BVC. Big Vibrating Chungus. Absolutely going to be able to take over this game. Rave Dorn on the Aurelia. Safton on the Nasus. It's looking like those two champions might be